Hey, fourth graders! It's now day 6 of our quarantine being out of school. I wanted to let you know that I'm missing you and I wanted to say hello and check in with you. I also have a challenge for you if you are willing to take it. Totally optional, not a requirement, certainly not going to grade it, but wanted to throw out a challenge. So I decided today that I wanted to make some pumpkin bread. Finally, I bought the ingredients in like October and never got around to it. So since I have a little bit more free time than I normally do, thought I'd do some baking. Though I did not remember that I only have a 1/4 cup measuring cup left. I've lost all the rest of them or broken them, or I don't know, they disappeared. I don't know where they are. So all I have today to work with is a 1/4 cup. Of course I have teaspoon, tablespoon, all that stuff. But in terms of my big measurements, this is all I got. And it made me think this is a perfect opportunity to do some work with fractions. So my challenge for you is to bake something or cook something based on a recipe, of course, that has measurements: 1/4 cup, 2/3 of a cup, 1/2 cup, you know what I'm talking about. And I want you to see if you can do some fraction conversions, right? Find some equivalent fractions in that recipe. See if you can maybe take some mixed numbers and turn them into improper fractions, or improper fractions and turn them into mixed numbers. And I'm going to walk you through by baking some pumpkin bread. So you can see how I've used fractions in my everyday life, done some fraction conversions. I'm definitely going to convert from mixed numbers to improper fractions. I'm going to have to find equivalent fractions because I need to be able to use fractions with a denominator of 4. I need 1/4 cups. So come along on this journey with me, and then hopefully you'll want to take on the challenge and you can post pictures of your challenge. You can make a video if you want, you know, be a YouTube star like your good old teachers, because you know Mrs. Hurst has her channel too. These are strange times. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so recipe starts by putting 4 eggs into a bowl, and we're going to beat them with a whisk. If you have a KitchenAid, I don't know what I've done with my KitchenAid. If you have a KitchenAid, you can obviously use your whisk attachment. You can whisk by hand, or you can use a little beater like I have here. We're just going to beat them until they're well incorporated. Next thing you're going to do is add a full can of pumpkin puree, just pure pumpkin. And we're going to go ahead and add that to our mixture. And then we're going to add 1 cup of a plain oil, like a vegetable oil or a Crisco. So the next part of our recipe is a part where we're finally running into needing to use some fractions. So our recipe calls that along with the eggs and the pumpkin and the oil, that we add 2½ cups of sugar. So what I would need here is 2 full cups. So I would need a 1 cup measuring cup, and then 1/2 of a cup. So I would need a 1/2 cup measuring cup. Sadly, I have neither. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this mixed number, and remember that a mixed number is a whole number with a proper fraction, and I'm going to turn it into an improper fraction, and that'll tell me just how many 1/2 cups I'll need. From there, I can convert my fraction to 1/4 cups. So I'm going to start by multiplying my whole number by my denominator. So that's going to be 2 times 2, which I'll write below. That's always my first step in going from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So 2 times 2, the product of that is 4. Now what I need to do is add this product of 2 times 2, so I'm going to add 4 to my numerator, and my numerator is 1. So 4 plus 1 equals 5. And this has become my new numerator. So I'm going to write my new fraction out to the side, 5, and my denominator is going to stay the same. Halves, 5 halves. What this is telling me is that if I had 1/2 cups available to me, I would need to do 5 1/2 cups of sugar in my recipe. As you know, I don't have my life together like that. I only have a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to need to find an equivalent fraction of 5 halves using 1/4 cups, right? And 1/4 cups have a denominator of 4. A 1/4 cup is 1/4. So I'm going to set up my conversion here. I know that I'm going from 5 halves to an equivalent fraction that has a denominator of 4. I know that 2 times 2 is what will give me 4, so I'll multiply across. And whatever I've done to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. So what this is telling me is that in my recipe, I need to add 10 1/4 cups of sugar. Once you have all that sugar added, you're going to want to go ahead and beat all those ingredients together.
To your mixture, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of allspice, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt.
So this recipe calls for 3.5 cups of flour. If I had a regular cup measuring cup and a half cup, I would do 3 of the single cups and 1 of the half cup. However, again, I still don't have that. All I have is a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to start by converting this mixed number to an improper fraction. My mixed number, of course, is my whole number with my proper fraction. And my improper fraction is going to be a fraction with a larger numerator than denominator. So to convert, I first need to multiply my whole number by my denominator. And that will be 3 times 2. 3 times 2, of course, is 6. Now that you have that product, our next step is to add our product to our numerator. So 6 plus 1 is, of course, 7. And what that means is my improper fraction is going to have this as the new numerator, so 7. And I'll keep the same denominator that I had. Halves, 7 over 2, 7 halves. What that means is that if I had access to a half cup, I would put 7 half cups in there. But I don't have that. All I have is a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to need to convert this fraction to have a denominator of 4. So I'll put that over here, 7 halves. We know we want a denominator of 4, so I'll put the 4 over. And I'm going to solve this one by cross multiplying because I used the other strategy for the sugar. So I can't do 2 times nothing. I don't know what's going to go there yet. But I can do 7 times 4, and 7 times 4 is 28. Since I'm trying to make equivalent fractions, I know that the product of 2 and this numerator has to be 28 as well. So now I can ask myself, what can I multiply 2 by to get 28? 2 times blank equals 28. Well, I know that 2 times 14 gives me 28. Again, if cross multiplication isn't the way you want to do it, you can always just compare your denominators. I know that I need to get from 2 to 4 by multiplying. Well, 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do at the top. 7 times 2 will give me 14. So what this means is that I need to do 14 1/4 cups of flour. Cross your fingers for me that I won't miscount it again. I totally put in 11 1/4 cups of sugar on accident. Second to last step is that I need to mix my dry ingredients with my wet ingredients, and I'm going to alternate adding my 2/3 cup of water and my dry ingredients, starting with those dry ingredients. Our final and most important, in my opinion, most important ingredient is mini chocolate chips. Pumpkin bread is not pumpkin bread in the Davies family unless you have mini chocolate chips. So most of the time when you bake, it's really important that you measure, but when it's chocolate, just put a lot in. It makes it delicious. The last thing we're going to do is divide our batter evenly among 4 little mini loaf tins, and then we're going to bake in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes.